I wasn't like a lifeist, but I was looking to survive. He told me, now, from today, onward, you are my best friend. I went at home. We had a peaceful night. One day, one time, the lady told me, Hassan, I don't want to see you anymore in my house. I cried, and it was like, the tone said, stop crying.
22-year-old Hassan Senoga was born HIV negative. His mother died while giving birth to him, and the father too died of shock after learning of the wife's death. The newly born orphan was brought up by his grandmother, who also died at a time when Senoga had completed his senior 4 and a course in marketing. Left alone, Senoga had to hustle for survival. It is here that Herbert, whom he refers to as his best friend, misled him.
He told me, Hassan, in order to survive, what you have to do, you have to get a sugar mommy.
Senoga was hesitant to follow this advice, but Herbert, his friend, was persuasive.
For me, I was like, I will get, but not is the right time. For him told me, if you don't have time to look for those ones, I'll get you one.
Herbert further convinced Senoga that the sugar mommy available was actually in love with him. The statement left Senoga with no option but to give in. This was in 2015.
I met a lady. The lady told me, Hassan, you come slowly. If you love me, I'll think about that. I'll give you a report after a day. I was very happy. I went back home.
The wolf in sheep's skin suggested a blood test at a local clinic where she had liaised with clinical officers to doctor results.
The lady took me at a certain clinic. They tested me, negative. They tested her, negative. So he told me, now, from today, onward, you are my best friend.
The then 19-year-old Senoga moved into his 35-year-old girlfriend's house. His wish was her command for 2 years.
You know, somebody to splash money just on you like nothing, giving you clothing, what and without sex. Because my aim was having sex with her, but for her intention was to capture my minds before.
The sugar mommy's actions left Senoga convinced that the two are truly in love. Not even the neighbors' gossip or advice from concerned elders would stop him.
One day, one time, a lady was a tailor. Lady called me, an old lady called me. My son, come. But why don't you leave that lady? It's not your age. And I told her that love does not mind. But what you are meant by age is just a number.
But after accomplishing her mission of infecting Senoga with HIV, it was time to look for fresh prey.
The lady told me, Hassan, I don't want to see you anymore in my house. After 2 years and some few months,
Senoga moved on believing that he would get someone else just the way he got the sugar mommy. But this was not the case.
Next few months, like 5, I began feeling not okay, like coughing daily. The body changed. Actually, it was like scabies on my body.
It is here that his friend Herbert resurfaced.
My friend, who sent that lady to come to me, was like paying a visit unto the place where I was staying. Was like, Hassan, please, can we go and we have something like blood testing somewhere?
Senoga first refused to go for the blood test for a week. However, his friend Herbert tricked him into having the blood test. The results were positive.
I felt down. I was like, not I'm real Hassan. I cried. I cried when I was shouting for the other lady's name. That was so. It's the one.
Like many others, Senoga was in denial and did several tests in other hospitals, which also confirmed that he is HIV positive. The helpless young adult opened up to a friend, Innocent Kaita, a public health worker and an HIV/AIDS counselor at Slum Clinic. Kaita says when he receives HIV-positive patients, his first message to them is about acceptance.
Usually why people die very fast with HIV or with AIDS, it is because they have denied their results and they cannot take it on. But when someone accepts that I'm HIV positive, this is a person that is going to willingly go, move in and then start taking drugs.
With numerous counseling sessions, Senoga's confidence was built over time and he started medication. He then sought to confront the sugar mommy, but she too had no kind words for him.
They tested me positive. The lady was like, Hassan, really? I said yes. Why are you laughing? Ini Luganda, muzunga nnyo. You deserve that.
The sugar mommy's reaction and statements left Senoga broken again, asking God to take him if his time has come. But the counseling sessions at Slum helped him regain his strength and continue with life. Slum, short for Serving Lives Under Marginalization, was founded by youth who live in slums of Bwaise and Nabweru, which is part of Wakiso district.
We do HIV counseling and testing here. We provide HIV prevention information and other information and some other information regarding positive living, how the positive people can live in a good life, how can they be in position to take their drugs. We are following these people. If we test a person and that person tests maybe positive, we refer that person to a service provider who is capable of providing other services and care.
Today, Senoga is among the about 1.3 million people living with HIV/AIDS in Uganda. He, however, learnt his lessons and decided to devote the rest of his life inspiring the youth, given his experience dating a sugar mommy.
Take time before you trust anybody. However, trusting people is good, but you take time and you have to take a chance of listening unto other people like the elders. Because one time, I'm still again remembering the other old Muzei who is a tailor, who came to me calling me, Sebo, why don't you leave that lady? And I was like, you are an old person.
His friend, Innocent Kaita, who is also a counselor, insists on proper testing for HIV/AIDS between couples.
When someone has HIV, you cannot tell that someone is having the virus in his or her body. But the only way to know that someone is HIV positive is when you go with that person to test. Not that person going to test and then brings back the results. Because a lot can happen on the way. We've seen that.
So, do you know your status? Are you sure of your partner's status? Victoria Namtewi, Urban TV.